Okay, here we go. So, as usual, have the blocks if you need them, and you probably will need them, and maybe some water. It's going to be sweaty today. I thought we could do a little bit of a strengthening class with a lot of mobility and conditioning work. So it's going to be a mixture of yoga and conditioning exercises. And we're going to start with the wrists. So first, just come onto your knees. Again, make sure that the knees are always comfortable. And then place the hands onto the floor with the fingers facing up. And then just start to slowly circle around. So welcome if you just joined us. Don't forget to mute yourself. And then we are just circling. So this is basically just to start to warm up the wrists, because we are in down dog a lot. And then obviously that means that you are bearing a lot of weight on your wrists. So slowly, slowly, you can rock from side to side as well, slowly, slowly bringing more and more weight into the wrists. And then maybe pause on one side and then the other side. You're trying to work with your shoulders right above the wrist, and that way you have that weight coming onto the wrist. If you sit back, there's no weight in the wrist. So excellent. And then from here, a little bit of finger work. So what you're going to do is you're going to come onto the fingertips, and then very slowly push the fingers, the joints, the knuckles, and the palms down. Yeah, a couple of times. So fingertips, finger joints, knuckles, and the palms. Oh, and then you might gonna hear clicking and cracking. Oh, my fingers are not really flexible, so it's quite excruciating, but all I feel is this deep stretch in my palms. So keep on fingertips, finger joints, knuckles, and palms. And then you can keep the palms on the floor, fingers on the floor, palms away, and then just slowly rolling from one side to the other, rocking from one side to the other to stretch out the fingers, the knuckles, and the palms. Okay, and now still on your knees, bring the fingers to face towards you. Take an inhale, and then on the exhale, slowly sitting back. Reach back with your shoulders. Keep your palms close to the floor. Feel the deep stretch now around the wrists. And then slowly back to center. And then sitting back again. And then one more time, forward, just a little release. And then sitting back, hold it here. Notice what you're doing with your breath, because if it's really uncomfortable for you and even painful, you might be holding the breath. So just start to breathe deep. And then long exhales as well. Coming back. And for the last one, you're going to place the backs of the hands onto the floor. Again, I'm going to turn around so you can see me, and straighten the elbows. Now, depending on again how flexible you are here, you can bring a little bit more weight into the arms by bringing the shoulders right over the wrist, maybe even walking the feet back. So you're just driving a little bit more weight towards the hands. I can't do that because mine just can't have it. So as much as you can, you press them through the tops of the backs of the hands, straighten the elbows, and then start to wriggle the fingers. So just wriggling. That way you can feel that stretch in the back of the hands, the back of the wrists. One more breath here. Wriggle the fingers. And then release. And just move the wrists a couple of times.
Evie, it's your photo shoot.
You're going to, so don't forget to mute yourself. I'm just going to mute you guys. Someone isn't muted. Okay, so we're going to sit down on our bum. Take the feet wide. And then bending the right knee. And then bring the heel close to you. It doesn't need to be absolutely close to the pelvic floor. It can be a little bit away from you. And if you have a lot of space between you, between your knee and the floor, maybe a block underneath it. Sitting upright and tall, take a moment. Sometimes it's kind of difficult to sit upright and tall with the knee straight. So just bend the knee. And then maybe place something underneath it for support. Start to activate the left foot. Nice open chest. We're gonna come into a side body stretch. So place the left arm onto the left leg or to the inside of the leg. Maybe hand comes underneath the calf muscle. Roll the right shoulder back, open chest. Inhale, reach the right arm to the sky. Fingers, palms facing towards the left side. Lift high on the inhale, and then on the exhale, start to lean towards the left. Look under the right armpit, and then reach as much as you can. Notice how you have to push down to the right hip, so you're not flipping over onto the left side too much. You can push down to the right knee as well, especially if it's supported either by the floor or by the block. On the inhalation, you want to really reach out. And then on the exhalation, just push down even more through that right side. One more breath here. And slowly come up. If you have the block under the knee, remove it. We take a back bend. Left knee straight, active left leg. And then activate the foot as well by curling the toes towards you. Bring the right hand behind you. Right knee stays bent. You're going to lift up onto your knee and the heel. Keep squeezing. Lift the hips. Arch the spine and reach back with the left arm as much as you can. So chest to the sky, bum to the sky, looking back. Squeeze the glutes. One more breath. And then slowly sitting down. Keep the right knee as it is. Now bend the left knee and place the foot to the right side. We're going to come into a twist after the back bend. Bring the left hand behind you with your elbow, cradle the left knee. Then take an inhale and lengthen through the spine. On the exhalation, with your elbow, you're guiding the knee away from the chest and the chest away from the knee. Look back. And breathe. Inhale for length. And then exhale to twist around. Relaxing the shoulders down. Eyes behind you. And then back to center. We twist to the right side just for a breath. So fingertips on the right side. And gently guide the chest towards the right side behind you. And come back to center. Bring the feet in front of you. Nice wide stance. And then just windscreen by from side to side. Try to bring the knee in front of you as close to the floor as possible. So the one that lands right in the front. And when it lands on the front, tuck the tailbone under, and then push the pubic bone towards the belly button to stretch out the front of the thighs. Okay, back to center. We come back into our straddle. We do the same on the other side. So nice wide straddle, sitting upright and tall. Bend your left knee. And then again, if you need some kind of support under the thigh, set it up. Activate the right foot. Bring your right arm onto the leg inside, maybe hand comes underneath the calf muscle. Roll the left shoulder back, open heart. Reach the left arm to the sky, palm facing towards the wall. Inhale, reach high, and then exhale, start to lean. You're gonna feel everything in the side of the body. Then press down to that left knee and press down to the left sit bone a little bit more. Look under the armpit just to check whether you're stacking the joints, checking the stacking the shoulders. And then reach a little bit more. On each inhalation, you're going to grow through the crown of the head, through the fingertips, and on each exhalation, you're pressing down through that right heel, through the left knee and the sit bones. Slowly come up. Remove your block. Keeping the right leg really active, switched on. Left knee still bent, left hand behind you. Press down through the heel and the knee, and then slowly lift. Squeeze the thigh, activate your glutes, and then reach back. Lift your hips as high as you can, and then lift the chest bone and reach it behind you as well. Slowly sitting down. Bend your right knee and step the foot to the left side. Again, for most of you, and for me as well, so that's why I'm saying I'm just talking about from my own experience, my right hip straight away, lift away from the floor, and that's normal. You can't really push it down, but you want to have this line of energy through that hip bone down to the floor. Once you start to push down, you can already feel the stretch on the right hip. Left elbow around the right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale for elongation, and then exhale to twist. And we breathe. Pull that right shoulder back. Look behind you with your elbow, guide that right knee away from you. And slowly coming back, turn around, fingertips to the left side, and just gently twist, look behind you. Come back to center. In a couple of sways, feet in front of you, and then knees drop to one side, the other side. And from here, tabletop position. And we're going to continue with some shoulder shrugs. And we are going to work with the scapula, the shoulder blades. You know what you will be doing, but you probably we haven't used this name when we were doing the shoulder shrugs. So I'm going to demonstrate and then you can join me. So when we inhale, we're going to lift through the shoulder blades, allow them to slide apart, squeezing up towards the ceiling. And then when we are inhaling, you're going to drop the chest towards the floor and squeeze the shoulder blades together. So pushing up through the shoulder blades up to the sky. We're sliding the two shoulder blades apart from one another. And then slowly sinking the chest down, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Yeah, a couple of times this. Lifting high, a lot of space, rounding the upper back. And then dropping down through the chest bone. Allow the shoulder blades to touch one another and squeeze them together. And then a few more. So you're not doing anything with your chin, with your head. It all comes through the shoulder blades. Sliding them apart and squeezing them high to the ceiling. And then letting the chest drop, shoulder blades towards one another, squeeze them. One more. And then from here, we're going to add cat and cow pose. So when we exhale, we lift through the shoulder blade and tuck the tailbone under and lift the mid back to the sky, chin to the chest. And then on the inhalation, drop the chest down, squeeze the shoulder blade, and then arch the lower back, tailbone to the sky. Exhale, lifting through the shoulder blades, through the mid back, tuck the tailbone under, chin to the chest. And then inhalation, drop the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together until the tailbone to the sky. Few more. Take your time, nice and slowly. Really push up on the exhale. And then on the inhalation, squeeze the shoulder blades together and arch the spine. Let's do one more. Then sit back onto your heels, reach the arms towards the top of the mat, and relax the head. So active arms, meaning that your fingertips are walking to the top of the mat, and at the same time you're pushing the hips down towards the floor. Notice where you can feel the stretch in this pose. Then back into tabletop, and we make our way into downward facing dog. And then in downward facing dog, just start to walk it out. Walking, swaying the hips. So you can drop the heels to one side, allowing the bum to sink towards the side, feeling the stretch on the other side. And then heels to the opposite side, allow the bum to release there. And then notice how on the other side you can feel that deep pull along the legs. the rib cage, back to center. Excellent. Walk your hands to the back of the mat, towards the feet. Relax the head. Place opposite hand onto opposite elbow and just sway from side to side. Make sure that the knees are bent so your chest is supported by the thighs. And I'm just going to check the time. Yes, excellent. Release the arms. Keep the knees soft and very slowly rise. Okay, so we're gonna move the spine once more. It's like cat and cow, but standing up. You're gonna bend the knees till the tailbone up towards the sky. Arms behind you, arch the spine, look up, chest towards the ceiling, inhale, and then on the exhale, tuck the tailbone under, round the back, arms to the front, and push the palms away from you. At the same time, you're pushing the shoulder blades back. Then inhale, arms behind you, arch the spine, tuck the tailbone up, look up, and then exhale, round the back, palms to the front, shoulder blades back. Few more, inhale. And then exhale. Inhale. And then exhale. One more. Inhale. Arch with the elbows, arms together. Look up. And then exhale the opposite. Round the back. Tuck the tailbone. Push the palms forward. The back of the body behind you. And then standing up. Excellent. And now spinal waves. So we're going to, like a tidal wave through the body. You're gonna bend the knees, push the hips forward, arch back, shoulders back, and then on the exhale, exactly the opposite. Shoulders forward, round the back, and then bend the knees a few times. Listen, just do it. The body will find the rhythm, and it doesn't matter what it looks like because no one can see you. So the main thing is that you feel it. You feel it in your spine, you feel your shoulders moving, and you definitely feel your legs working hard. Oh. Release, shake it out. So staying at the back of the mat, feet about hip width apart, relax the shoulders, look to the front, couple of breaths. Maybe opening the mouth, breathing through the mouth, just to let go of any extra energy. Oh. And if you're overheated, it's quite nice to breathe through the mouth. And then we're going to start our flow. So allow the chin to tuck to the chest. And then start to roll forward with your shoulders, upper back, mid back, lower back. Keep the knees soft. You slowly start to hinge. And then walk the hands to the top of the mat, arriving in a high plank pose. Holding in her high plank pose, but remember, you can always drop the knees. Push the heels back, shoulders over the wrist. Now remember your shoulder shrugs. Lift your shoulder blades high. Squeeze the glutes. Then drop the knees, slowly lower down to the floor. Bring the hands wider than your shoulders. Bring them a little bit more forward. Press down through the feet, tops of the feet, through the pubic bone. And then the next inhale, come into an easy cobra. So that might mean that you want to have the elbows down or just lift it slightly. Keep it nice and wide between the hands. Roll the shoulders down. Gently pull the chest forward by pulling the palms towards you. Take a big breath in. Tuck the tailbone. Push down through the pubic bone. And then exhale, fall down. Hands underneath the shoulders. Press down through the knees. On the next inhale, come up into low plank. Curl the toes under. Downward facing dog. And then we hold it here. Press your heels down to the floor. Separate the fingers. And then suck the belly in, suck the lower ribs in, and guide your shoulders, the armpits and the chest towards the knees. Make the head heavy, maybe shake it out. And start to move the hands to the back of the mat towards the feet. Heavy head, heavy arms. Very slowly rise. And we go again, same way. So a little bit modified sun salutation. Still quite strong. Take a big breath in. And then on the exhale, start to release the head, shoulders, upper back, mid back, lower back, upper body down to the floor. Then walk the hands out into your high plank. Hold it there. Take a big breath in. Squeeze the glutes, hug the tailbone. Slowly lower down. Chest and hips arrive at the same time. Hands off the mat, a little bit more forward. Fingertips only on the ground. Inhale for your cobra. Shoulders down. Press the pubic bone down. Exhale and release. Hands underneath the shoulders. Squeeze the belly. Press down through the knees. And then push up into your low plank. Curl the toes under. Downward facing dog. Few breaths here. Separating the fingers. And then sucking the lower ribs into the body. And then walk the hands to the back of the mat. And very slowly roll yourself up. One more. And then afterwards, we're going to start to add new poses to this flow. Releasing the head on the exhale, shoulders. Roll them forward. Upper back, mid, lower back, hanging off your hips. And then walk the hands forward into your high plank. Shoulders over the wrist, again squeeze the lower glutes. Slowly place the knees down, lower down to the ground. Keep the hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale for cobra pose, elbows in, shoulders down. Release, keep the hands underneath you. Press down through the knees. Low plank. Hug the toes. Downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. And a full breath out. Inhale deeply. And then exhale fully. One more breath in. And a breath out. Walk your hands to the back of the mat. And very slowly roll yourself up. Excellent. And then we go again. Inhale deeply. Exhale, release the head, shoulders, back. Hinging from the hips. Walk yourself up into a high plank. Take a breath in. Then drop the knees, lower down to the ground. Hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale for cobra pose. Release. Keep the hands as they are. Press down through the knees. Take an inhale. Lift back up. Low plank. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot between the hands and drop the back knee down to the ground. Remember to protect your knees so you can fold up the mat underneath that left knee for support. And then you're just going to release the hips forward. This to open up the front of the left hip, left thigh, so the hip flexor. But at the same time, instead of arching and tilting the tailbone up, so to come into a little deeper lower back bend, we're going to tug the tailbone under to lengthen. Keep your right hand on the knee, thigh, and lift your left arm to the sky. Take a breath in, reach to the fingertips, and then on the exhale, arch back. Keep that tuck in the tailbone, squeeze the belly in, lift through the chest, reach the arm behind you for another breath. And then from here, you're going to just slightly lean into your right side to feel the stretch on the left. One more breath. Come back. Hands to the floor. And we move back into downward facing dog. And then downward facing dog can sometimes feel a very complicated, difficult pose, but in between these more difficult poses, it feels like a little relaxation, release. We come into the other side. So we're going to step the left foot between the hands. Drop the right knee down. Protecting the knee as usual. Walk that left foot more forward, release into that left knee. So ideally what we want to have in the front leg is this alignment between the ankle and the knee. As you can see, I'm stacking. That's to protect my joints. Now lift your right arm to the sky, tuck the tailbone under, squeeze the lower belly. Take an inhale, reach high, and then exhale, arch back. Bring the arm with you, reaching behind you. Breathe. With each inhale, lifting the ribs away from the hips. And then going to lean to the left side, stretching out the right side of the body, maybe looking under the armpit to check that we are stacking the right shoulder over the left. And then back to center, hands to the floor, and step back into downward facing dog. Again, just notice how down dog puts everything back into normal. You can move it out, the hips, walk the legs, walk the hands a little bit. And then walk the hands to the back of the mat, to your feet. Heavy head, heavy shoulders in here. Slowly roll yourself up. And now a little bit different. We're going to do another different flow, and we're going to add the two together. Standing at the back of the mat, take an inhale. And then on the exhale, start to roll down, folding forward, slowly, slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, no rush. When you arrive, then you walk the hands out into your high plank. Squeezing the heels or pushing the heels behind you, lifting through the shoulder blades, tucking the tailbone. Drop the knees, lower down to the ground. Hands underneath the shoulders, inhale for cobra pose. Release, keep the hands there, press down through the knees. Switch on your belly. Inhale into low plank, tuck the tailbone, downward facing dog. Bring the feet together, and then lift your right leg to the sky. Bend the knee, open up the hips, so the hips are facing towards your right, and your chest is facing towards the right as well. Take another breath in, and then step the foot between the hands. Keep the back knee away from the floor. Knee, ankle aligned, keep your left hand on the floor. Take the right arm to the sky for a twist. If you want, you can come onto your fingertips or use your block underneath the left hand. Twist a little bit more, and then we swap hands. Right hand to the inside of the foot. Don't forget, you have the block to extend your arm if needed. And then drop the back heel down. Your hips and chest are facing to the left side, reach your left arm towards the ceiling. Looking up, press down through the back foot, especially the outer edge of the back foot. Then coming down, lift the back heel, and now pay attention, you might need a block. Place your left forearm to the ground, or place it on your block and take hold of your right ankle. You can walk the right foot a little bit out, and then reach your right arm to the sky. The back leg is strong and active, so really hug the muscles around the knee joint, and press the back heel away from you. Twist a little bit more. And then back to center. Remove the block if you use one. And then we step back into downward facing dog. And then again, once you're in down dog, everything feels, wow, excellent. This is the place I want to be. Move it out. Hips, shoulders, maybe the head. Left side. Feet together. Left leg to the ceiling. Bend the knee. Open up the hips. Now hips, chest facing to the left side. There is a little bit more weight on your right arm. And then step the foot between the hands. Bend the front knee until it's right over the ankle. Right hand stays on the floor. Maybe use a block. And then reach your left arm to the sky and twist. Press the back heel away. Thighs are active. And we swap. Drop the back heel down. If you're using the block, it comes right next to your foot, inside of the foot. Front knee stays bent. And then reach your right arm to the sky. So while you're in the pose, Instead of focusing on the discomfort, focusing on what's happening in the body. And when you feel that you need to give up, there's at least another 20-30% in you that can go on. So that's the motivation today. Right into the floor. And then placing the right forearm to the ground or maybe on a block. Taking hold of the left ankle with your right hand and reaching the left arm to the sky. Back leg is strong. Heel pressing behind you. Look up and twist. Then hands to the floor. Back into down dog. Move it out a little bit. Walk the hands to the back of the mat. Soften the knees, opposite hand onto opposite elbow. You can sway from side to side. Then let go of the arms. Very slowly rise. Excellent. So the two together with the lunges, back bends, and this hip work. And in between, we're going to do a little bit of floor work for your lower back as well, for the spine. When you're ready, I always fall apart after little flows. I have to put myself back together. And just close the eyes. Notice the breath. Notice your heartbeat. Take a deep breath in. And then on the exhale, start to slowly fold forward, softening the knees. Vertebrae by vertebrae, letting go. Eventually, you're just going to hinge from the hips. Heavy head. Then start to walk the hands to the top of the mat. High plank, shoulders over the wrist, lifting through the shoulder blades, tuck the tailbone, squeeze. Drop the knees to the floor. And then place the hands on top of one another and just rest the forehead there for a couple of breaths. Bring the feet hip width apart. Press the pubic bone into the ground, squeeze the legs. And then on the next inhale, lift your right foot away from the floor. So pressing down through the hips, through the belly, lifting that right leg. The right leg is straight and strong. And you're drawing the toes behind you. Release, other side. Hips stay on the floor, nice and active in the glutes. Lift your left leg. Extend through it to the back of the room. And release. And now both. So your head and the neck, they are relaxed. Press down through the pubic bone, through the hips. Tuck the tailbone and then lift both legs. Reaching them behind you. And breathe. Point the toes away from you. And release. Hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale for cobra. Downward facing dog. Reach your right leg to the sky. Bend the knee, open up your hips. And then step the foot between the hands, drop the back knee down to the ground. Release the hips forward, but make sure that your knee feels safe. Keep your right hand on the thigh, tuck the tailbone under, draw the belly in. Lift your left arm high, or in line with your ear, or maybe further back. Take an inhale, reach up, and then exhale, arch back. Offer your heart to the ceiling. And then from here, lean towards your right. Look under the left armpit. Feel the stretch in the left side. And release, hands to the floor. Tuck the toes under, lift the knee. Keep your left hand on the floor, take the right arm to the sky. I always find that after back bend, the twist feels amazing. So twist as much as you can. Align your chest to point up towards the ceiling. And then now we place the right hand to the inside of the right foot. Remember that block, that will be useful. If it's difficult for you to hold it here, maybe a little extension in the arms, look up. And now place the left forearm to the floor or on your block with your left hand. Take hold of your ankle and lift your right arm to the sky. Hands to the floor. Step back into tabletop. Drop the knees, lie on your belly. Hands underneath the forehead. And just shake out the butt. Okay. So, we are going to bring the arms behind us with the palms facing down. And you can create some space, bring some space in between your arms and the hips. Feet can stay hip width apart. Once again, switch on the legs and the glutes. And then on the next inhale, we're going to lift the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades together, arms towards one another. And then on the next inhale, lift the chest. Keep the legs as they are, rooted down to the floor, but keep them active. So arms shifting towards one another, squeezing the shoulder blades towards one another, lifting the chest as high as you can. One more breath. And then slowly release. Maybe a little wriggle again. Maybe you want to roll the head from side to side. And then bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Press down through the knees. Take an inhale. Push up into low plank. Downward facing dog. And then enjoy these couple of moments in downward facing dog. Left side, feet together. Lift your left leg to the sky. Bend the knee, open up the hips. Chest, hips towards the left side. And then step the foot between the hands. Drop the back knee down. Lift up. So starting with your hips over the knees, but then you're gonna shift them forward. And you might have to walk the foot forward as well. Tuck the tailbone under. This is going to make you move back slightly. Keep your left hand on the left side. Reach your right arm to the sky. Take a breath in. Lift through the fingers and then arch back. So instead of dumping everything, the whole weight of the upper body just into your lower back, draw the navel to the spine. Activate your core and then lift through the chest, up and back. And then start to lean towards your left. Maybe looking under the right armpit. Release, hands to the floor. Pick up the back knee. Right hand to the ground or on a block. And then lift your left arm to the sky. We swap hands. Left hand to the inside of the left foot. The back heel to the ground as well. Reach your right arm to the sky. So by now, you know what kind of props you need to use. I don't always have to call it out. And if you're unsure, just experiment. Then right forearm to the floor or on a block. Take hold of that left ankle. Your back heel is pointing behind you. And then lift the left arm high. Hands to the floor. Step back, high plank. Hold. Strong, stiff as a plank. Knees to the ground, lower down. And a little rest. Hands on the floor, forehead onto the tops of the hands. And then maybe just shaking it out. Bum, legs. Sphinx pose. Bring the forearms onto the floor. And then from here, we're gonna come into sail pose, but first you want to activate the legs. The pubic bone on the ground, tops of the feet on the floor, and the thighs are active. You're gonna push down through the hands and then straighten the elbows. If it doesn't work, you keep the elbows bent, but you're gonna hug the elbows towards one another and roll the shoulders down. Keep tucking the tailbone under with your pubic bone pressing down. Hold it here. Really press down to the right hand. Reach your left hand behind you, taking hold of your side. Now it's only one arm holding you up, but your core and legs are active, so you stay high. And then we swap. Left hand down, ground down, lifting the chest. Reach your right arm back. Maybe it rests on the glute, maybe it rests on the back of the thigh. One more breath. Hands down, and then slowly release. You can bend the knees and windscreen wide from side to side. Place the feet to the floor, hands under the shoulders, and we move into child's pose. Well-deserved child's pose. You can keep the knees wide. You can bring the knees together. If you have the knees together and you allow the chest to fall over it, there is a deeper stretch in the lower back, which might be very nice now after the many back bends that we've done. Rest here for a few moments, few breaths. You can also sway the hips. Roll the head. Move the shoulders a little bit. Sometimes it's easier to release, excuse me, let go if you bring some movement into it. Hold it there, still child's pose. And then slowly make your way back into downward facing dog. Walk the hands to the back of the mat. Soften the knees, opposite hand onto opposite elbow, heavy. Sway or stay static. Let go of the arms. Slowly rise. So, one more flow, which is going to be first strong and flowy, and then we slow down and we do some hip openers and some stretches in the thighs and the glutes. And we do both sides and then we can rest. But we're going to do one more flow and we're going to do the same what we did, this modified sun salutation. First, just standing at the back of the mat with your shoulders relaxed. Tailbone gently tucks under. You can feel how when you're tucking the tailbone under, you're drawing the pubic bone up and you're activating the lower glutes, inner thighs, and the lower belly. Lift the chest slightly. Take a big breath in. And then on the exhalation, start to roll with your head, with the shoulders, back, hinging from the hips. Walk the hands out. High plank. Knees to the ground, slowly lower down. Inhale for your cobra. Release, hands stay underneath the shoulders. Press down through the knees, squeeze the belly, back into low plank. Downward facing dog. Reach the right leg to the sky. And then step the foot between the hands. Lift yourself up into crescent lunge. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of leg work now. And we're gonna move, we're gonna repeat the same flow a couple of times, and then we're gonna come into pigeon pose. So with your arms, you can just make face with your hands, or you can spread the fingers wide. This is just really to help you balance. You will need some space in front of you. So we take an inhale. On the exhale, bend the back knee, tap the foot to the floor. Then inhale, rise. Exhale, bring the weight into the right leg. Pick up the left knee to the chest. And then stretch it out. And then the way back. Hug the knee into the chest. Stepping back into lunge pose. And then we repeat. So starting in lunge, bend the back knee, tap it down to the floor, slowly lift up, take the weight into the right, hug the knee into the chest, and then reach the leg to the front. Bend it again, reach it behind you, step back, high lunge, up. And we go again, 2 more. Back knee taps to the floor, lift it up. Bring the weight to the right, lift the left knee into the chest, extend it to the front, hug it in, stepping back. Last one, knee kisses the floor, lift, hug in, extend to the front, knee to the chest, slowly stepping back, no rush. Excellent. Place the hands to the floor, half pigeon. So we're gonna walk the right foot across the mat. Place the knee to the floor, your shin will be right in front of you, and then walk the left leg back. Your hips might be very comfortable facing to the front, and you're very comfortably sitting on your right hip. But you might find that it's easier for you if you're sitting on the right hip actually, and there's more weight on your right side, and that's totally fine. Your front shin is across the mat, but it might not be parallel to the front of the mat. It doesn't matter. What you want to feel is, it is deep stretch on your right thigh and the right glute. You can stay upright and tall, maybe using the blocks underneath the hands. Just let it all sink in. It might be a little bit overwhelming. But what is important, that all you want to feel is, so everything you want to feel is in the belly of the muscle. You don't want to feel anything around the knee or the ankle, let it be the front leg or the back leg. If there is any discomfort in the front knee, you can sit on your right hip, keep the back knee extending back, or the back leg extending back, and then you can bring that shin parallel to the front of the mat. And then reach your chest towards the left. That way, you create a little modification, but still working on the same stretch, on the same area that in your other type. Or I don't know what I'm gonna say traditional half pigeon, because what is traditional. So whatever works for you is that your traditional half pigeon. And we hold it here for a few breaths. After a while, you might find that actually you would like to come onto your forearms. Or maybe hands underneath the forehead, elbows wide. Another 3-4 breaths. And this is the time to focus on those breaths. Maybe sighing one morning on the out breath. And slowly come back onto your hands. So keeping in the same position, you're gonna bend the left knee, and with your right arm, you're reaching back. If you can't take hold of it, you might be able to take hold of the bottom of your tracksuit bottoms, or maybe your leggings. Or you can quickly bring the shawl around the ankle and then pull the shawl. And you're gonna pull the heel towards the bum. At the same time, you get a little twist as well. So 2 for 1. And release the foot. Then back into tabletop. And we meet in downward facing dog once more. Oh, and just walk it out. Maybe you want to shake out the legs a little bit. Let the blood flow back into them. We have the left side. Reaching the left leg behind you. Step the foot between the hands. And then slowly lift up into your crescent lunge. We will be doing the same flow, working on the legs. So arms can be high, can stay right next to you. They're going to help you to balance. We take an inhale. On the exhale, slowly tapping the back knee to the floor. Inhale, rise. On the exhale, shift the weight forward. Hug the knee into the chest. Send it to the front. Bend the knee again. Slowly stepping back. Yeah, and then we go again 3-4 times. Knee kissing the floor. Lift it back up. Hug it into the chest. Send it forward. Bend it back. Reach it behind you. And step back. Again. Knee to the floor. Lift it up. Hug it to the chest. Reach away. Back to the chest. And slowly behind you. Arriving in lunge. I think we have 2 more in us. Kissing the floor. Lifting back. Hug it in. Reach away. Knee back. And behind you. Stepping back. Last one. Knee to the floor. Lift it up. Hug the knee to the chest. Send it away. Back to the chest. And behind you. Whoo. Hands to the floor. And then wriggle yourself into your half pigeon. Remember, you don't want to compromise your knees for the glory of the pose. So whatever is comfortable in the knees, that will be your half pigeon. And just stay maybe upright on your hands or on the blocks for a couple of breaths. I mean, I have to take it very slowly. I need always quite a long time to just release into the pose. I have very tight muscles and fascia, so it always takes me a little bit longer, but some of you might find that you can just, bow down. So work at your own pace. And wherever you are, remember there is the breath. The breath is your anchor. It will hold you there, creating some space between the crazy thoughts in your head and the present moment. So keep the breath there, use it to relax, especially when you're exhaling. You can use that to let go. Inhaling relaxation. And then exhaling all the tension and discomfort that you find in yourself now. Listen to the sound of the breath. Give yourself another one here. And then very slowly come back up. If you need a little bit more height, use the blocks underneath you. Right hand stays on the floor. Bend the right knee. Reach back with the left hand. Take hold of the foot. Take hold of your leggings. Take hold of your strap. And then slowly start to guide that foot, the heel, towards the bum. And at the same time, you're twisting the chest. Maybe looking over that left shoulder. And try to stay with the same quality of the breath that you used when you were just very relaxed and passive in half pigeon. And slowly let go of the foot. Bring the right leg forward. Keep the feet wide. And just gently windscreen right from side to side. Make your way down onto the ground. With your legs extending to the back of the mat. Feet a little bit apart from one another, allowing the feet to flop out. Arms behind you, beside you, palms facing up towards the ceiling. I'm just going to check how much time we have left. Excellent. Relax the shoulders. And now press down to the back of the head. Lift your shoulders, shoulder blades. Roll the shoulders and the shoulder blades down towards the hips. And then release the back of the body down to the ground again. You're going to do the same with the hips. You're going to press down through the heels. Lift the glutes. Tuck the tailbone under. And then releasing the back. Releasing the booty, actually, to the ground. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth wide, let it all go. And we rest here for a couple of minutes, staying on your back. Very slowly, start to become aware of the body lying on the floor. Start to notice the breath. Notice the noises, sounds around you. Begin to wriggle the fingers and the toes. Move the wrists, the ankles, roll the head from side to side, slowly, slowly waking up the body. Reach the arms over the head, stretch out. And then bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a big cuddle. You can rock from side to side. And then roll over onto one side. Use one arm, the lower arm, under the head like a pillow. And then very slowly sit yourself up. Take a comfortable seated pose. Keep the eyes closed, sitting upright and tall. Bring the hands into prayer. We take one last breath together. Inhale. Open the mouth, sigh out. Throw the thumb knuckles into the forehead center. And together we say, Namaste. And we bow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming today. And let me just...
Thanks, Eva.